Nevada's bridges have been routinely ranked as some of the nation's best, but there are some older bridges that don't meet current traffic needs. Here's an inside look at how we replace some of these historic bridges.
Today we're on an early alignment of the Victory Highway. It's also known as State Route 1 in Nevada, and today it's US 40.
There are three old bridges that are on this historic section of the Victory Highway. They're the Shoshone Overpass, the Humboldt River Bridge, and then the Dunphy Overpass. The two overpasses go over railroad tracks. But two of these bridges don't meet modern safety standards, so they're going to have to be replaced. And that's the Shoshone Overpass and the Humboldt River Bridge.
This is the Humboldt River Bridge. It was built in 1939. But long before that, this was part of the Dunphy Ranch. It was one of the largest cattle ranches in Nevada and was started by a man named William Dunphy.
The Highway Department was considering a number of different routes to get travelers from Carlin to Battle Mountain, but Mr. Dunphy wanted the new road to come by his ranching headquarters, which was called the White House. The problem with that route was that it would require the Highway Department to build a bridge over the Humboldt rivers, which made it quite a bit more expensive. So Mr. Dunphy decided to sweeten the deal and help them make their decision by donating all the right-of-way land for the new road.
This is the end post of the Humboldt River Bridge. It was designed in 1939 in the streamlined modern style. It's also known as Depression Modern. But this was really popular in the 1930s and 1940s, and it's supposed to evoke speed and mechanization and modernity. And these little incised lines are called speed whiskers. And this is terribly deteriorated, but when it was original, it had a nice curving arch over the top. So I brought Dave Chase and Mike Mayberry here today to Dunphy. They're both bridge engineers at NDOT, and they're going to show us the underbelly of the bridge and some of the design that went into building these bridges.
This bridge is being replaced because of its condition and age, and we're building a new structure adjacent to it. And this is it right here. It's almost complete. This bridge was built in 1939, and it was actually a replacement bridge for an earlier bridge. Part of those abutments are still present. We retained that part of the structure to protect the side slopes to prevent against bridge scour. On this side of the bridge, there's also portions of the existing abutment wall.
What's cool about a bridge deteriorating is that then you can see the under parts of it and the inside of it. So this is the abutment here, and it used to be all filled up with riprap, which is very large rock to prevent erosion. But the riprap has eroded down into the river, but we can still see some of the wooden falsework that's original from 1939 when this bridge was first constructed. And I think a lot of people don't realize that concrete structures required so much falsework and so much real high-end carpentry skill to be able to build structures like this. And it's still in place. It hasn't deteriorated. One of the tenets of historic preservation is that if you're going to build something new that looks old, then you want to identify it as actually a new item. So what we've done is we've had the year that the bridge was built inscribed into the side of the bridge, built 2014, so that in the future, if anyone has any question about when this bridge came about, they'll know exactly when it happened.
The structure was monitored more than the typical periodic level inspection to ensure that it was still up to the task, but it became clear that it was not going to go any farther than its design life. Geographically, the structure is somewhat unique. It is at a high degree of what we call skew, which is where the approach roadway is at an angle essentially to the element it is trying to cross. So we end up with some complications in the design. This structure, we did the best we could to fit the location. We extended the end span on the south end to basically take advantage of a pocket in the embankment. We created a large center span which spans not only the current track but a future track and the maintenance roads that UPR standards require us to span.
Right now I'm standing on the Union Pacific Railroad tracks. We're underneath the Shoshone Overpass Bridge right behind us. And it's safe because I'm here with the Union Pacific flagman who's timed the trains so that we know that nothing's going to come down the track for a little while anyway. At the turn of the century, a number of trains ran through this area, and William Dunphy made an arrangement with the trains that they would stop once a day for passenger traffic. So he would also load up his cattle to take them to his slaughterhouses in San Francisco, and then his ranch hands could have access to goods and supplies and then trips back to Battle Mountain if they wanted to. There are two sets of train tracks that travel through Dunphy, and that's why there's two grade separations. Grade separation is what you call a bridge that goes over a railroad track. It was really important to the Nevada Highway Department to eliminate all at-grade crossings. And these were some of the last at-grade crossings on the Victory Highway in the 1930s when they first built these bridges. When a river changes course, what's left behind is the old oxbow sometimes. And when a road changes alignment, that's exactly the same thing that happens. The old road, a corner of it can still be left behind. And that's what we have here on this section of the Victory Highway. If you look behind me, you see I-80 traffic going by. That's what bypassed this section of the Victory Highway. But what we still have here with these three bridges is this historic oxbow remnant of the Victory Highway. And that's pretty cool.
Demolishment of the Humboldt River Bridge is scheduled to begin this August 2015. The Shoshone Overpass was demolished this July 2015. Traffic will continue with Flagler control.